Right. Good evening, everyone. I believe I'm live, although it is rather strange when you're just talking to a screen. And I believe we're going to have quite a lot of people on tonight that are going to be watching, and no feedback after having lived for 2 months in Zoom meetings and seeing lots of other faces in front of me. So anyway, look, I've started this feed 5 minutes early just because I wanted to give everybody a chance to get on. So I'm probably not going to say too much over the next few minutes. I can see we've already got a good few people in the feed, which is brilliant. And I'll probably end up repeating myself a fair amount in the next few minutes, because as people gradually join. So we've got 22 sessions open at the moment with people watching, and we've already, in advance of the quiz actually beginning, we've already got in excess of 50 teams who've signed up, which is just amazing, to be honest. So I had no idea whether this was going to be me talking to my laptop, which I guess it is, or whether we were going to be inundated. So I will admit that I was, much as I was tempted to have a glass of wine to enjoy, I thought I'd relax with a cup of tea first, and then I'll probably save the glass of wine until we finish. So, I guess, thank you, Andrew, in the comments. I guess it's the dry martini would probably be more appropriate. So there we are. And I guess that's one thing that I've tried to do a lot of preparation in terms of setting this quiz up. One thing I hadn't probably counted for was quite how much weight I'd put on during the 7 or 8 weeks of lockdown. This is a little bit tighter. So if you see me struggling for breath or anything like that, have no fear. I'm perfectly healthy. I'm probably just carrying a bit more weight than I used to. So also just to, I guess, as we've all got used to over the last weeks, we're living in our homes, working from home, and there are distractions, and one of which I think we're going to hear very soon is the dog who was in my office with me wants to actually leave. So I'm going to disappear for a second to let him out, because otherwise he will get noisy. But just for anybody who comes in the meantime, I hope that stays. So I will be back with you almost inevitably. You know what? I'll be back shortly. How's that? One more guy. There we are. Go on. That's better. I think the dog was getting a little bit concerned that I was losing it. Just sat in the room talking to myself. So maybe he's right. So we're up to 30 on the call. It is still early. Fantastic. I've just seen some very good news, so I'll share that later. So thank you very much, Nikki. So look, brilliant. So I can see everyone adding in the comments. That's what I was really hoping everybody would do, because obviously it's a little bit difficult to be interactive. I didn't quite fancy trying to get everybody onto a Zoom call, so I just thought this was the easiest way to do it. So please use the comments to sort of exchange back and forth. Probably not worth giving out hints in terms of the questions, but because as I'll explain in a moment, it's going to be a little bit rapid fire in terms of how the quiz will actually work. So by the time you've typed out hints, you might have already missed the opportunity to answer the question, but we'll come on to that. I guess one thing I did want to say, and I'm very conscious, which is just incredible news, that of all the people that have signed up for this, and I'll just do a quick update now because people are signing up as we go. I think we are now at about 55 different teams, which is, as I said, is fantastic. It's actually from a mix of people. So we're doing this for Naas Athletics Club. It was the original. Obviously, that's where the quiz is hosted and everything. But really grateful to my employer, Qualtrics, which is a software company, but specializes in, and this is not an advertising campaign because it's Friday evening apart from anything else, but specializes in end-to-end research and analytics and solutions. And one of the things that we have is a fantastic questionnaire and survey tool, which is what I've used for this. So really grateful to Qualtrics for allowing us to use the software for complimentary. And one thing I did want to add in that respect actually is that I'm really grateful to everybody who's already paid their entry fee. It's entirely voluntary, but on the web page that you use to enter this link, there is also a link that if you wanted to make a payment to the Qualtrics company charity fund as well, then that would just be hugely appreciated. I'll send details around afterwards, so don't worry if that that comes afterwards. Don't worry if that's so I'm releasing. I'm not being there we go. Not being a professional YouTuber, it is quite challenging to read the comments at the same time. So I think the Kardashians are probably safe for the moment. Just looking at one of the questions in terms of the team name, that will actually be the first question of the first actual round proper. So that gives you a chance. So given we're just past 1:30 now, but I just want to see if I can let the number of people viewing increase a little bit further, just because I know we've probably got 10 more teams that have paid versus the people that are actually viewing at the moment. So yeah, so just to confirm, actually I should probably put that in the chat. There we are. I should probably get I probably should have had the children helping me with this, really, shouldn't I? I'm sure they would have been more advanced. But there we are. So team names. So yeah, team names are the first questions in the first round. So I hope you've had a chance to think about what you want to do. Okay, so we've the numbers are still creeping up, so I'm going to give it a little while to go. I've got 10 rounds of questions that have been written. They are all fairly rapid fire. The questions are multiple choice, so that makes things a little bit quicker. They are also, I've tried to aim them to appreciate that we've got lots of different people on the call, and I think I got into saying this earlier, but went off on a bit of a tangent. We've got people from the athletics club, friends and family. We've got friends and family of all of ours in terms of the wider connections. I know we've got people joining from the UK as well as from here in Ireland. We've got people from Qualtrics, which is, as I said, the company that I work for, that have enabled us to put this quiz on. And who else? We've also got, thank you to Sarah Kearns also, because we had a lot of publicity on a number of the Naas Facebook pages as well today. So I think we've had a good catchment in terms of people who can join. So let me just do a quick time check. It's 7:33. I'd say I will start at in 2 minutes at 7:35, and that gives everybody a chance. So there we are. Sorry, I'm now being what is it? Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Excellent. So yes, absolutely. Thank you, Sarah. So what do I want to tell you about the questions? Well, first and foremost is that, as I said, we've got 10 rounds. I've actually, in terms of timing, each question in the rounds actually has a timer on it. So when you're answering the questions, please be aware there is a timer. You'll see the clock ticking down. You please be aware that you have to answer reasonably quickly. There should be more than enough time on most of the questions, but if you don't get to answer a question, or you get an answer, every time you answer a question, there's a button to click, which is Patrick. There you go. Thank you. Sorry, looks like my technical help is actually making changes. I'm on live.
Yeah, but do you want me to?
No, don't change anything. It's fine. We're on live at the moment.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
By the way, you had HDMI plugged into the motherboard instead of graphics card, which means your game performance was bottlenecked by that.
Okay, that's fine. There we go. I don't know if anyone heard that. That's Patrick, my 18-year-old, which is quite scary. If Evelyn's on the call, that might scare Evelyn in particular. given me advice in terms of in terms of I've plugged things into the wrong holes on my computer. So that I don't let that worry you in terms of how we're going to run technically. So Breen, thank you, great question. The dog is Barnaby. So Barnaby is the dog of one of the founders of my employers, Qualtrics. A couple of months ago, it must have been a couple of months ago when we were all still in the office, then what happened at that point was that we all, or a lot of us, got a chance to get a cuddly toy complimentary from the company. So Barnaby's obviously also looking after himself there. Just looking through on one of the other questions, how does it recognize that you paid for your team, and how do we enter a team name? I've got emails, I've got connection to the Stripe platform that you use to actually make your payment. So I can see every time I refresh, I can see exactly how many people have paid, and I've got the email addresses. Now, let me just go back again. I think hopefully we've got everybody on board now. So I just want to cover what those basic things are. So if you've paid, I've got your email address, that's fine. In terms of a team name, that's the first question of the first round. So you can put the team name in. I'll be able to, the data is all coming back to me. It's an online questionnaire. So I'll be able to tie everything up in terms of what I've got. Now, in terms of the first two rounds, I also appreciate that some people might not have paid the entry yet. So I've got 10 rounds, sorry. The first two rounds are open to everyone. So whether you've paid or not. And the reason for that is it's just to give people a chance to be able to pay in the first 10 minutes or so, just in case they haven't got around to it for whatever reason. From the third round onwards, there will be a restriction that you'll only be able to actually go through the questions if you enter your email. So what you will see when we open the rounds up in a minute is that the first question of the first round is your team name. The first question of every next round is to repeat your team name, because each round is a separate question, a separate set of questions. As I said, in that respect, what will happen, the next thing is then from round 3 onwards is to actually log in. So I think I need to probably just make sure I've covered everything. As I said, we're going to be doing well over 50 teams now. There are 8 rounds that we're definitely going to do, depending on time, so I should stop. We've got another 2 rounds that we may do, time allowing. They're going to be prizes for the first, second, and third, and I'll tell you more about that as they go on. We've also got some spot prizes, and I want to thank, I've just had a notification in terms of a restaurant voucher, which is quite exciting, so I'll tell everybody more about that as we go through. So yeah, prize is team name. You need to enter your emails. Each question is time limited. You can't go backwards. Once you've answered a question, your answer's submitted. Keep an eye on this feed, and I will update the scores probably from around 2 or 3 onwards. So the final thing is for me to actually enable the first round. So if you're on the YouTube page, you'll need to have both the YouTube page and the, You'll need the YouTube page open. You'll also need the club website that has the entry links on. So if you go onto that now, I'm about to enable the first round. If you scroll to the bottom of the page, you'll see, and I haven't enabled it yet, a load of buttons where it says round 1 through to round 8 and extra 1 and extra 2. So let me kick off the first round. Just 1 second. It's activating the first round now, that link. So anytime within the next, should be 20 seconds, you should be able to access that link. So first person that is able to, if you're able to put a thumbs up in the chat, that's fantastic. That would be amazing. If not, don't worry, I've got a backup option. So you should now be able to start entering your questions, your answers to the questions. And as you'll see, the first question was, what do you want to give yourself the team name? I'm going to be keeping an eye on progress throughout the rounds. I'll try not to talk too much because I don't want to put you off of your thinking time. But I'll keep an eye on the time so I can see who's making progress through the rounds. The rounds should take 8 to 10 minutes each. So that should all be good. So please, somebody send me a message in the chat if you're able to go working. Brilliant. Andrew says that the link is live. So fire away. You can carry on, and I'll come back to everybody with round 2 in about 8 or 10 minutes. Should also add any challenges or any issues, put that in the chat. Depending on how many there are, that might be at the point at which the whiskey comes out. I should probably put some music on or sing, but I don't want to put everybody off. I also bought a guitar last week. I'm going to teach myself the guitar during the lockdown. But as anybody who's heard me on a Zoom call recently will say, thank you, Deirdre. I won't sing, but I know you haven't said I can't play the guitar yet. You want a song? Alan wants a song, right? Okay. Do I do a song or do I? My brother actually, I have a twin brother. He did actually record a song that he sent in to all of his teachers, all of his colleagues in the school today. Actually, I probably should have checked with him whether I could say that if he's on the link. So apologies, Mark, if I've shared that information and you didn't want me to. Yeah, I can't sing. I should probably also add that because the bow tie is a bit tight, that would probably be the reason why my singing would be particularly poor form on this occasion. Well, I can see we've got a number of questionnaires in progress. So that's fantastic. Oh, I can see there's some good scorers here. I might try and also work out who's who from some of the team names as well. So the Devonshire Dumplings, I think I might know who that is. Should also add on the first round, I did run that round with 1 or 2 of my friends recently, and if anyone's finding any of those questions a bit tricky, then you should think yourself lucky, because on the previous one I made no guarantees that they were oriented the right way. So some were flipped around, some were rotated through a number of degrees, etc. So if you are questioning, all of those are oriented in a north-south direction, as you'd expect. Now, I can see some of the teams have already rattled through this first round. Sorry about that, Jay. We've got 6 completed questionnaires out of those that have started. So the dashboard that I'm looking at might be a little bit behind. So I'll obviously I'm going to let everybody finish first anyway. We do have somebody on a 100% at this point as well, so that's good news. Got a very dry throat. I should also add as well, I don't want to put anyone off. I have had 1 or 2 requests for call outs throughout the evening. So if you want me to add to that, and the first one I think is a happy 10th birthday, I understand. So that sounds like that's the Naas Hooligans. So that's from, I think it's Fionn Holohan. So I gather it's your 10th birthday, or at least that's what I've been told. So if it is, happy birthday. And I hope you're enjoying how you're spending it, despite all the challenges of the way things are at the moment. Language, Deirdre. Oh yeah, it's a family show. No, you're fine. Don't worry. Okay, so everyone's been going for about 5 minutes, so I can see a number have finished very quickly, and others are making good progress. Looks like we've got 3 responses still out, so I'm just going to give those teams a chance to complete. In the meantime, I'll wait for those, I think, before we move on, actually. Very good. So happy 40th to Finian as well from Therese. There you go. That's a while ago from me. Hello to the McCarthys in Cork and the Stewarts in Navan. Wow. Okay, I've got let me just check notifications as well, because I want to make sure that I don't miss anything on there. But equally, if anyone's trying to tell me if there's if something's gone wrong. Wow. Okay. So there's a call out to Jared Coffey. I'm from Anne Marie. I didn't quite understand what you were asking me to say there, Anne Marie, but there we go. That's a quick call out to you. Yeah. Hello to the Lubies in Naas, the Lubie and the Boxburger in Bray. Fantastic. I am going to struggle to keep up with this. Right, okay, let me move on. So just quickly refresh the page. I think we probably have everybody completed now. So that's excellent news. So what I'm now going to do, I'm not going to worry about totting up the scores just yet. We'll do that ahead of the next round. Before the round 3, that's the plan at least. So I'll go quiet at that point, because I'll be then stressing on how on earth I'm going to do it. So next thing up is for me to actually, I'm going to just bear with me. I'm going to kick off the next round, and I'll hopefully get more seamless on this as we go through. So we're now going on to round 2, and it should be live any minute. So fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. From Quiver, a big call out to the Parkers in Naas and to Timmy Mack in Cork, the Johnsons from Naas, the Stewart family in Woodlands. Oh, goodness, I'm going to be check your phone message. Oh, right. Okay. Thank you, Kira. Am I looking at the wrong message then? Oh, right. Probably a text message from Kira. Oh, fantastic. So there's a bottle of wine from Kira to give out as well. So so that's fantastic. And I also wanted to add, so I talked about it briefly earlier, but we have, let me find, if anybody, if people are aware of the Marills Bistro in Rathfarnham. They fantastic restaurant for anybody who knows it. And my cousin Nicky actually is the chef. Very good. He's worked in some of the best restaurants in Dublin, including Gibo's and elsewhere. So Nicky has donated a spot prize as well, which is a voucher. And I'm going to double check how much she said the voucher was before I get it wrong. So fantastic. Yeah, €100 bistro, a voucher to Marill's Bistro in Rathfarnham. So that's really fantastic. So thank you. That's amazing. Right. Okay. Well, let's come back. Kira, also hello to the Malones, sorry, in Kilcock. I'm assuming round 2 is working for everyone. So again, please, I also assume I'd get a lot of comments if it wasn't. Really exciting watching me play with my computer. There we go. And the Malone say back. There you go. Excellent. Okay, so I can see a lot more entries on the quiz donations now. We do actually have more entries on the quiz donations than we have teams playing, but I think that's okay for now, because I am aware of 1 or 2 people who said that they were happy to donate to the club, but weren't going to be able to make the quiz. But at which point we're immensely grateful, and I hope it wasn't me and my lack of shaving that put you off. Where are we now? Okay, if anybody is joining later, I've actually closed round 1 to responses, but if anyone is still there, because it did tell me that there were no responses in progress, I can reopen it if anybody is late onto the quiz. But I guess if it's late onto the quiz, you might struggle a little bit with with getting there by the time we do it. You knew a football answer, Sarah. I was about to ask you which question that was, but I won't, because that that might not might give something away to everybody else. So there is a range of questions in here, and as I said, I'm hoping that it's not just too much in terms of things that are in my mind that interest nobody else. But okay, so most responses are complete. We've just got a few more where they're just coming to the end. And can I see any 100%? So I see a 7 out of 8. In there, I see an 8 out of 8 in there as well. Right, something else pinging. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. So I'm going to try and speed things up a little bit. I think one of the comments there is in terms of why the round's going on so long. I think it's probably because some people are actually able to answer the questions very quickly, but there's still 1 or 2 that are out there answering the final question. So I'm just giving everyone a final chance. I'm about to kick off now round 3 as well. So round 3, actually round 3 is open, so you can start round 3. So the question, the difference on round 3, as I said earlier, so please enter your team name again. The one thing you'll also have to do with round 3 is, and excuse me, you won't be able to do it yet, so I'm going to have to enable it, which is to, now just give me a second. Just bear with me, and I'll have round 3 will be open, which will then have every other round open for you. Okay, so I need to speed up a bit as well, I think. Apologies, I'm just having a slight delay on this round 3, but it's going to be there very quickly, because I just need to make sure I've got everybody who actually signed up for the quiz in here. So if this doesn't work, then we might have to abandon round 3, unfortunately. Yeah. Sorry, just bear with me, everybody. 1 second. Try and do things on your own. Okay, so I can see Therese is doing round 3. Were you able to get into round 3, Therese? Has it enabled you to actually? Okay, yeah. Kira's saying she can't log in, so that's a problem at my end. So just bear with me. I know what I've got to do, so sorry. Okay, in which case, what I'm going to do is we're going to abandon round 3 because I've done something that's just overcomplicated that then. So what I will do is go in and we're going to go straight for round. Don't go into it yet, but I'm about to enable round 4 instead. So just bear with me. Right, you should be able to do round 4 without having to enter any questionnaires in. And if that doesn't work, don't worry, we still have plenty of rounds and plenty of time. And what I'm going to do in the meantime is probably re-enable round 3 as another round for later on. So, because there we are. Okay, I'm really sorry for everyone. I'm realizing that round. So tell me, is round 4 working at all? Looks like it's not. So. Okay, I'm sorry. I realize what I've done. So Okay, we're gonna move on. I've realised my mistake. I'm an idiot. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna sort out. So bear with me. I know exactly what I've done. I'm gonna delete that. So we're going to re-enable those rounds later. I'll call them something different so you'll be able to do them. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Right, so round 5 is open. You shouldn't need any email to get into round 5. Breen, I think you might have been a unique case because you were one of the first to enter. So and possibly also Ruth. But so round 5. Oh, stop it, Therese. You're not allowed to say that. I might have to delete that comment. That was me trying to be too clever. Round 5 wants email. Okay. Need some help here. All right, everybody pause if you can, please. I'm going to have to try and sort this. Huge apologies for... Right. Right, I've just tried something on round 5 that if you try again, it should allow you to be able to enter this time. So please let me know. And if that works, then I know what I need to do. Right. It looks like, so a lot of people saying they were able to get into round 5 if they just kept answering the emails. If you try again now, you can get in. So a lot of people are saying, yes, you can get in after 3 failed attempts. So from now on, if you're able to get into round 5, then you keep clicking on the email and it lets you in. So is that working for you then, Kira, now? I should have had someone else to help me with this, but we're going to get there. Don't worry. Okay, so I'm going to do some testing on this as well. I think Great. I can confirm that I've sorted it out for all of the subsequent rounds. So I'm going to re-enable for the people that weren't able to do the rounds 3 and 4. I will re-enable those when we get to it. So in on round 5 after failed attempts. So brilliant. Okay, so there won't be any more of those now because I'm going to get rid of them all in terms of the email verifications. But that's fine. I've got a list of everybody who's participated, so I know who's in. So I don't need to worry about how to do that. And what I will do in a moment is concentrate on being able to start totting up who's in what position. So there we are. Okay, so I'm actually also, just to speed things along a bit, I'm opening up all of the other rounds. I'm not opening up the extra 2 rounds, but I'm opening up rounds up to round 8. So 6, 7, and 8 I've opened up, which will give me a chance to then go back. Right, let me just go back and see. Right, okay. Right. Exciting viewing on the live feed at the moment, I'm sure, as you see one man getting increasingly hot under the collar. And there we are. So now I'm going to have a look in terms of where everybody is. So I can see now we have, so all of those rounds up to round 8 should be open. Should be able to access those. Oh, happy anniversary to Kira and Niall. There you go. And happy birthday to Alfie and Alfie the cat. And Niall, maybe I'm not sure if Sarah's listening, but it's our anniversary on Sunday, whether I should ask for some advice, because given the limited shopping options at the moment, I'm not quite sure I'll be able to get out of Tesco to really be a decent wedding present. Okay. His birthday was March. Oh, Alfie the cat's birthday was in March. Okay, I thought for a moment, Kira, you was that it was maybe the anniversary was a different time. So I was thinking, well, I hope at least Niall got that right. Yeah, I can see we've got a lot of people who have been able to enter from round 3, 4, and 5, which is great news. So I'm just changing some of the settings in there as well. So if people had tried to answer previously, they will be able to go back in and do those as well if it caused them a problem first time round. So for rounds 3, 4, and 5, which I think are the ones that are really messed up. I'll be there with you very shortly. There we are. I should add as well, as you go through some of the additional rounds, there are some questions to keep an eye on where I've changed the time limit, so you have longer to answer the questions. But that's also because of the fact that I'm saying that you can, there may be 4 out of 4 or 5 different answers that you need to give without wanting to give too much away in advance. And I can see everybody's making good progress through the rounds now. So one thing I will also say is I believe I've fixed the issues on rounds 3 through to 5. So if you didn't do those, you can go back and try those again now on the same link on the website. So maybe I should have listened to Patrick's technical advice when he was giving it to me earlier, perhaps. Excellent. I can see some good progress being made throughout here. So as I said, if anybody who did get to who had a problem with round 3 earlier, when you finished your next round, you can go back and have another try at round 3. Please, everybody, just do, when you actually go through and complete the rounds, just do it once, and we'll get there. But I can see that a lot of people are now able to do all of those. So I'm now going to start concentrating on finding out who's in what position. So here we go. And I should also add, by the way, none of my family are participating. So there's no fears there in terms of, sorry, I might have made a mistake when I mentioned Nikki's restaurant earlier. It's Marill's Bistro in Rathfarnham, so we'll have a spot price for that one later as well. So I will actually need some assistance from the family members in that respect. Please, there we are. Now, so sport data. Okay. I'm going to need your help with some of the rounds, Sarah, to actually in terms of working out some spot prizes, if you may. You don't need to come on that, but you might need to sit there.
What now?
In a bit, yeah, absolutely.
Shall I let Dobby in from the garden?
You can let the dog in, yeah. So that's Sarah. So anyone who knows Sarah, don't think she wants to join us on camera, but she's here in spirit. Right. One second. Actually, I do want to do a song for everyone while I'm I'm trying to work this out now in terms of who's where. If anyone wants to campaign for Sarah to do a song, she can sing much better than me. So Jay, sorry, in terms of the rounds, you can actually keep going through the rounds now. I've opened up all of the rounds up to round 8. I just felt it was better. So all rounds 1 through to 8 are open. You can enter any of those. Actually, at this point, you can enter them if you can try to do them in the order in which they're written. But it will just mean that I probably will just have to give everybody has done rounds 1 and 2. So I'll give an update on that very shortly. And then for the other rounds, then I'll give a tally when everybody's got to the end of round 8. So as I said, you can work through the rounds in the order that works best for you at the moment. So it's not that one. So what I'm looking here, because Sarah's going to help me now in terms of reminding me what I'm doing. So I am looking for the quiz answers. There we go, round 1 and 2. All right, I can see that there are still some people that aren't able to do rounds 3 and 4. So I'm going to have to, if I have a real problem with those rounds, then we'll just have to exclude them. But I do have another option, but I'm conscious of time as well. So I want to just make sure that the first thing I can do is actually start giving everybody an update of how everything else has gone. We still have rounds, the extra 2 rounds at the end as well, which I can enable when I get the chance. Wow, okay, so team names in front of me at the moment. So descending order, right? Okay. There we go. So I've got round. I'm going to give the updates on a round by round basis, and then in due course I'll then I'll give everybody an update then once I've done the first few of those, so that you can see everything. Sorry, Jay. I was what round should you be on? I'm actually said I've opened up all the rounds, so you can do all of those. Do you know what rounds we've done? I can see what rounds have been done, so I can see how many people have done each round. We are going to get there. Okay. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is give an update on the teams from on the scores from the very first round, which was the geography round. So at that point, we had 3 teams that got all 8 answers right, which were Thin Quizzy, Team Mullakash, and the Millbrook Minders. Then we have 2 teams that are on 7 each, which are the Quarantine Mullingar and Dillons. And then we have a good range of people on then across the rest of the scores, so I won't call all of those out. So now let's have a look in terms of general sport. So I'll give the answers there. So the 10, nobody got 100% there, seemingly. So round the 102's got 7. Then there's a large number of people: Run Forest Run, Fred's on Fire, Cara Knights, Chang, Lockdown Loonies, Millbrook Mafia, Blind Venetians, Gallopers, and Malone's Brown Bread, who got 6. So well done to you, and I'll start trying to add all of those up very shortly. Yeah, if you did a round twice, Andrew, I will only take the first answer. So please, if people do a round twice, please don't. Just take the answer. I had to make a change there because of some of the issues that people were having earlier. So please don't take a round twice. I will just take the first answer in that case. So, might have a. I'm sure someone needs your help in terms of how to think about that. I can't believe it. Laptop. Right, okay. Thanks, Jilly. Rounds 3 and 4 worked for us after we tried to enter the email address 3 times. It said that we'd entered it too many times, but when we clicked again, it brought us all is balanced. Oh, Sarah's. So yeah, so back to Jilly. We entered it in too many times, but then when we clicked again, it brought us to the questions. So that might help. So I know, for example, that David was still having some challenges on that round. So if you are, if that works for you, David, then give that a try. Otherwise, as I said, nobody's going to be penalized because one of the rounds wouldn't work. So we'll make sure that's all fair. So I can actually see on round 3 now that more or less everybody has answered that one. So I've got 44 responses at that point. So we've got half an hour left. There's a note from David. I know David was still having right. I have a solution for you, David, so don't worry. All is good. Right. I think I've seen what the issue might have been, David, and I think the email may have been wrong in there anyway, but in terms of the one that was used for Stripe, but that's fine. If you can, I will correct it for you anyway, so you should be able to access that. Right. Okay, let me have a look and see how everyone's doing. Just update. Right. See everyone's having there. Are the extra rounds, they're not open yet, but I'm going to open them very shortly. I can see a few people have entered every round twice. Please don't. If you do, I've seen that, Deirdre. It's, as I said to, I think Andrew did it earlier as well. I'm only going to take the first answer. It is going to take me a little while to actually tot up the answers. So what I'm going to do now is actually open up the extra 2 rounds, because I think almost everybody has managed to do rounds 1 to 8. There's a few people still on round 8. In terms of anyone that had problems with those, yeah, hi Alan, good question. That's where I'm going to be having my entire focus on now, is once I've opened up the extra 2 rounds, is to crack on with actually working out who's in the lead and who's in what position. So bear with me. That's now the next priority I've got. And it's a shame something, I can see the question. It's a shame that I can't sort of hand over to somebody else to play some music or something now. But I hope you can have some entertainment with yourselves in your front rooms. If nothing else, have entertainment at the maybe the terror of an amateur quizmaker who's having a go. All right, so Deirdre knows who's not in the lead. Well, there you go. So I will tell you all once the extra 2 rounds have been opened. And I'm going to do that very shortly. That one's fine. Extra round 1 is just opening. Okay, Sarah, can you bring Dobby on? We've had a request to see Dobby. There we are. See, this is the real dog for anyone who's not aware of Dobby. He's had to be cut. He's had 2 homemade haircuts so far. Bless him. And for anyone who got a bit worried about any of the Harry Potter questions, yes, he is named after Harry Potter. Well, not after Harry Potter, but after Dobby the house elf from Harry Potter. And I think actually almost everybody I work with at this stage has seen him or heard him at some point over the last few months. So that's been interesting. Now the extra round 1 is open. Extra 2, Holly's over the moon. Excellent. But in terms of the extra round 2, which I haven't enabled yet, one thing I'm going to do is I need to make you aware of is that the scores, the questions there are worth 2 points, because I wanted to. Dobby's a hit. He's not allowed to leave yet. So if Dobby could do some entertaining whilst I'm trying to work out how to do all of the scoring, and then we got 25 minutes. All rounds are open, so everybody can take their own time. I'm not going to go for that glass of whiskey or wine yet, because I'm going to try and concentrate and get on all of this done for you now. So as quickly as I possibly can. I'm going to use this one so I'm not making a mess. And Dobby's actually been very jealous of Barnaby as well. He got very unhappy with the fact that Barnaby was in his spot in the bed one night. Thanks, Ruth. Might actually have to put Dobby on to actually
to work out the score.
Yeah, completely. now. What I want you to do is have a look at this maker play on the best team. Then. I want you to make a vote on that.
Where's the list?
I'll share it with you in a bit, okay? He is lovely. Yeah, that is our dog completely. Tell Tim the pressure of the quickfire nearly melted us. Can you hit a few keys to sort us out? There's a few Dentasticks in it for you. He doesn't like Dentasticks. He's been treated. For anybody who doesn't know, Sarah works in the parish office in Naas and has been having to go into work on a number of occasions recently during the lockdown. And he's a real hit with the priests. So he keeps running into the priest's house. And so far he's had a bit of roast beef. He was given it. He didn't steal it. He's had a bit of roast beef. He's had some sausages and some biscuits. And now if Sarah ever goes into the office without him, she gets questions as to why she's done that. There we are. So I might have to just ask everyone, as I said, I'm downloading all of the data now. So talk amongst yourselves, which I guess is what you've been doing anyway. Round 3, I think I've done that one. I should have done this automatically beforehand. Kira says hello. Does Dobby bark? No, he squeaks. Oh, right. Sorry. Yes, Catherine, you just highlight there's a typo in extra round 1. It's the 3,000 meters, not the 300 meters. Quite right. Well, originally I'd written marathon in there. And when I was testing it, I tell us that I suddenly realized, no, that's not right. Should have done fewer rounds. But then it's been a problem. So it's been a real challenge. Okay, I believe people have pretty much finished actually. So it is going to take me a while to tot up because we've had some, as I said, we've had an amazing number of responses. And had I known it was this many, I might have actually managed the rounds in a slightly different way. Does Dobby work for KPMG? Why would Dobby work for KPMG? Not quite sure. Why would Dobby work for KPMG? You'll have to explain that one, Sarah.
Good at counting.
He's not good at counting, is he? Now let me have a look in terms of how everyone's doing. Keep it independent dudes for the lotto to make sure no cheating. Right. Yeah. Don't worry, there won't be any cheating. I trust everybody implicitly. That, in fairness, is one of the reasons why I had the timing in, because I thought the timing would make things very difficult. But I'm sure we have a really trustworthy group here, so I can't imagine that would possibly be an issue. Sorry, Breen. But you should have time afterwards. So looking at this, I think there's still 1 or 2 people on the rapid fire round. So Alan wants to know who's in the lead. So give me a moment. That's still going to take me a little bit of a while. But I've just managed to download absolutely everything I need. And I'm going to be on that as soon as possible. So bear with me. Oh, the pressure, the stress. 1, 2, 3. Round 1. Where is that? Seven and 8 I haven't got. You almost do the emailing at least here. You're not going to be able to do it quickly. And I think that's the problem. It's how to, because I got them all in different worksheets, but that's fine. I'll get there. What I'm going to do is export the data. So right. The music round. Yeah. I did consider doing a music round, but I think given how many people are on the call, we'd have been. There is going to be a prize for last place, absolutely, Breen. That's already been decided. So I'm going to share the details of that. Let's say the prizes are going to come out, and we're going to say who's that. I need 10 minutes, maybe a little bit late, so I hope I'm not keeping people up. But let's say at just close to past, so 25 past, I'm going to aim to have everything done in that respect. So one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I still haven't done round 7. That's why. Sorry. Race to the bottom. Is there a price for the fastest Googler? I think we got them all right. Oh, okay, yeah. I think we've done it there. Mairead won. I think that's it. Mairead's just said for anyone who can see the comments. So that saves me a job. I did talk to somebody about this for a quiz I did the other day, and I said if it gets challenging at some point, they said I just make it up. No one will mind. But I think 1 or 2 people might mind, and I think Alan, who has been very keen to know who's where, might mind in particular if I just gave it to the first person. That there we go. Right. So funny. It's perfect. It's trying to re-verify itself. There you go. All right. There you go. So whoever was asking whether Dobby barked, depends. That's nice. Depends whether you want to call that a bark or not, really, doesn't it? Strange dog. Right. What's he growling at?
It might have been a bird.
Okay, a bird flew past the window. If anybody is concerned about what's upset Dobby, don't worry, we're not being burgled, despite what he might think. This is going so slowly. I need you to open up, or you might just need to bring it back to me. Great, now we're in place. Someone messaging you saying, "What's up with Tim? Is he taking too long?"
No, it's just the long runs group.
All right. Okay, what's the time, Sarah? How are we doing?
7 minutes to 9.
This must be one of the least exciting. 7 minutes to 9. Right, time is ticking. So I'm not there yet, as you'll probably be aware, but we are getting there. Just going to take the data from the final 2 rounds. I think everybody should be finished now anyway, so that's great. Yeah, we've got, if anyone is still going through round 2 of the extra rounds, don't think they are. We've just set our dog off. Yeah, there we are. Tools. Export. So. Right. Do you want to take a look at it? Okay, so it's going to I think it's going to take me another 5 to 10 minutes, but please bear with me. I'm going to be I am being as quick as I can now. I've got everything that I need, and we will get there, as I said. Now, do is take. So total. Very close. Right. I'll keep saying it, but I am getting close now, so just bear with. I might be very soon able to answer Alan's question because I've got answers for probably 90% of the people. I've just got a few challenges where there may have been some slight changes, so I'm on the case with those now. But a few teams where I just need to add in some extra checks into here just to make sure, because some of the data are missing. So bear with me because I'm going to get some help on this one. I'm still here, by the way, in case anyone's worried. Is it too Breen? It depends, really. Maybe I can give you some great advertising in terms of how amazing these glasses are, Breen. Not necessarily bribery, but fabulous. Anyway, I'll be back soon. Sarah, I'm going to need your help now. There we are. So now, what I need to find out is there's a few people's scores who disappeared from early on. So I just want to make sure I don't miss you. Sorry, Tom. So I've just seen a message separately that Tom Gallagher's training program is nearly as hard as the quiz. So sorry about that. But there are some, we're going to be within minutes now, are going to be able to announce. There you go. At one point I was thinking, my God, where are we going? Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, Breen, advertising. So what I didn't mention, wonderful glasses, but for anyone who doesn't know, In Focus Opticians. There you go. So I don't know, no, you're not going to buy extra points, Breen, but maybe you grab a little bit of advertising. So anyway, hope all is good with you. So what I need to do is find out why that one went missing. One or two people's results that didn't carry through from the additional rounds, and it could be that they didn't complete the additional rounds. So that's what I just want to make sure, because I don't want anyone to miss out who started and was in the first couple of rounds. But I can see that despite all of the challenges, that to be frank, were programmer errors. So Alan Crew. Yeah, I can see one or two that have gone missing, so I'm just trying to add those back in. Okay, so that one, there's one or two missing. Yeah, the rest are more or less okay. So from here. need you to look at these team names and tell me. So actually, you can do it on there. Can you grab me that one? And you can want me to know for you to do. If that loads, yeah. That will load. Maybe team name. Give me your favourite team name. That's what I want. Why did Paul Horan, why did the butt go into space? Not entirely sure. Go on, you'll have to fill us in on that one. So let me gonna do this now. So I'm just about to tally everything up. So this time round, we're in a good place. So we have a winner. My goodness, we have quite a. So I'm going to give these out in order. We're going to do 5 prizes. So actually, here we go. Yeah, Paul, we still need the answer. Oh, very good. So if anybody's gone out to make a cup of tea, or at the time it's taken me to mark that, maybe they've gone to paint a work of art or redo the Mona Lisa or something like that. But I have the answers. We have a winner. We've got prizes for the first 3. We've also we do have a booby prize. So in some people's cases, unfortunately, they didn't. They might have struggled a little bit more than 1 or 2 others. So I hope that's not my particular taste in questions or whatever. But there we are. So we have a booby prize. We have the top 3. And we also have, I believe, I'm just waiting for Coach Sarah to tell me, we have a favourite team name as well. So I don't know if you have that yet.
Yeah.
You do. Okay. So we got the booby prize, and don't see it as a booby, because I'm sure it's a wonderful prize actually, but is from Kira Nolan. So Kira has donated a bottle of wine for this. So I have everybody's names and addresses, so I'm just going to give out the team names. We'll follow up afterwards, and I'm going to write it down. So the booby prize goes to the Flamingos. So I don't know if I can hear a cheer or anything like that, or if any members of the Flamingos are on the chat still, if they've not given up and gone to bed. But if they want to add. If they want to comment, then feel free. But look, we'll get you that bottle of wine. We'll work out how at some point. I gather we can now move 5 kilometers away from our front door, so maybe we'll be able to bring it round or something like that. But we'll see how that goes. So that's well done to the Flamingos for the prize. Then if I move on, we've got the next prize is for Sarah's favourite team name. And I should add, Sarah doesn't know any of these people. The favourite team name prize is going to be a cash prize, so we'll share details on that later. I need to do some totting up in terms of how much we've got, but expectation is that I'll be able to confirm that via email immediately after the quiz, so I'll send that round. So the best team name is
Zoom 101.
Zoom 101. I think, okay, so well done, Zoom 101. So you're going to be getting a small cash prize as a congratulations for that. So we now get down to the top three. So what we're going to do for the top three is they are cash prizes, but for the winner, in addition, we also have the voucher from Maril's Bistro in Rathfarnham, which is a €100 voucher. So I mean, that's amazing generosity, to be honest, and very grateful to Nicholas Courtney for doing that. I'm not sure he's on the call at the moment, but very grateful, and we'll get that to you. And as soon as the restaurant is reopen at some point, I can highly recommend some amazing food in there. So so that's the top prize, with cash for then alongside that, but also then cash for second and third place. And again, I'll circulate afterwards in terms of how much that's going to be. So in third place, and it was a clear third place, and that there was no need for any tie breaks at all. So as per Sarah's suggestion, to work out what type of bird it was that annoyed Dobby. So in third place, we have the Gallopers. So well done, the Gallopers, for coming third. So there is a cash prize that is onto you as well. Again, we'll work out how, but we'll sort those logistics afterwards. We may be able to get that to you electronically indeed. So well done to the Gallopers for coming third. The Dylans in second place. So fantastic for the Dylans for coming in second. Really tight at the top then between the Dylans and our winners, who were the oh, sorry, Mairead's not happy. Is that because you came second, Mairead? I don't know. And the winners are the Blind Venetians. So well done. So the Blind Venetians won by 1 point from the Dylans. The Gallopers in third place. Zoom 101 get the spot prize for the best team name, and the Flamingos get the prize for the wooden spoon. But it's not a wooden spoon. It's a very nice bottle of wine, courtesy of Kira Nolan. So thank you very much. So again, thank you very much to everyone. I know we've overrun by a quarter of an hour. I'm going to go and have that glass of whiskey now. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, we're asking for validations afterwards. Okay, well, we'll get that sorted. We'll get AXOR or KPMG, I think was the other suggestion. So fantastic. Really grateful to everybody for being on the quiz, for putting up with me when I was struggling to make things work, but we got it all to work. So a massive thank you. Really grateful. The club is very grateful for the additional money that we'll be able to bring in from this, because it's in a year where we've not been able to run the Millbrook Cup. For anybody who's ever run the Millbrook Cup, they're thinking, thank God. I certainly will, because I've come last in it, I think 2 or 3 times now. We also, I want to thank you on behalf of Qualtrics, as I said, Qualtrics, and I'll send the details around afterwards for everybody to see, so don't worry too much now. But the Fight for the Fight fund with Qualtrics that raises money for breakthrough cancer research is a very personal fund to Qualtrics, because the founder of the EMEA business actually passed away from cancer a few years ago. So I will share some details. Thank you to everybody who's already donated to the Fight for the Fight fund. Again, I'll share the link so that you can make some additional donations if you wish to, totally voluntary, and we understand. And finally, some of the what we'll also be doing is splitting the money that from the quiz, part to the club and part to the fund as well. So massively appreciated. Time for that whiskey, and just to prove it was a real one, there we go. I can now breathe. But there we are. And I did also, just a very final one, because I said I would actually, and it's naughty now, because if she was watching, she's gone. A shout out to my daughter Abby as well, who's not very well at the moment. She's picked up the virus, but she's isolating somewhere in Dublin, and she's going to be fine. So she's young and healthy and fit. Anyway, do I have the trousers on? Yes, I do. So I think on that point, I'm also wearing shoes. I'm going to go. Thank you to everyone. Thank you for putting up, and thank you for your contribution. I hope it's been a fun evening.